He's angry about mortgages. It's Angry Mortgage. He's swearing. He's cursing loud. He's old. He's opinionated. And he's been doing this so damn long. This program is about mortgages, and this is mortgage advice, but the advice may not apply to your situation. Contact licensed mortgage professionals for specific recommendations before you make decisions about mortgages. You may not agree with Ron, but if you don't, he thinks you're wrong. Oh, and did we say there is a lot of swearing?
So FinTrack, for people who are listening, is something that you may not know it, but you experience every day. Every day, if you do a transaction with a bank or any financial institution, there is a checking algorithm in place to see, is this transaction big enough to have to be reported to FinTrack, which is the government's agency that looks at all the movement of money in Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've now had FinTrack in the mortgage business for a little over a year.
Yeah.
I got my opinions on it, but do you see it as just another layer of administration?
I don't know how much it's going to actually help solve the problem they're trying to solve. I mean, especially in real estate transactions where there's a purchase, you already got a real estate agent and a lawyer involved, and now you're putting another layer in there. And yeah, I mean, we have it. Obviously, it's something we all have to abide by, but I don't know that I don't know if it politically it looks good. It's like, look what we did. We're stopping fraud. But I don't know that it actually, or we're trying to eliminate. If you really want to reduce fraud, how about give mortgage companies and lenders access to CRA tax documents, or at least so they can confirm, does this person actually make the money they say they make? Because there's tons of income fraud that happens. And why that would be a much better, in my opinion, solution for reducing fraud for shelter than FinTrack, because we've already got multiple other layers. But again,
we've only been begging for it for 7 years, literally begging for the government to make this one simple move to drastically curtail mortgage document fraud in Canada. But so far, as usual, nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, they promised it. Like, we can go back. We're now on month 15. We're going into month 16 of when they swore in the budget that they were going to do it. Mm-hmm. There's a budget in April of 24 that they promised they would do it. And of course, fuck all, nothing.
Yeah.
That's what we got. So,
and there were companies that were sort of circumventing the rules because accountants and bookkeepers can have access to your tax documents for that purpose. For that specific purpose. But so they'd set up shop and say, hey, mortgage broker.
Preparing your taxes.
Yeah, preparing your taxes. But they've since squashed most of those because they're like, hey, this is not the intended use of this.
Well, never was the intended use.
And so it's not surprising, but then give some way to access that it would also speed up the mortgage process.
Oh my God, yes.
I imagine the number of transactions you're doing or we're doing, and you could actually get some of this information by the click of a button. And even if it was just a pass or fail, if you don't want to give us full tax, give us
green
something.
light, red light, that's it.
It's like, okay, good, you're good. And then the lender can move faster because there's also risk to the lender, which ultimately, if it's insured mortgages, is the government. At the end of the day, they're backstopping all of it. And so why wouldn't they want to get in front of it earlier by having some mechanism to stop income fraud?
Well, it's the most logical thing on earth, and they've had it in the United States for 15 years. 16, going on 16 now. Mm-hmm. So it works perfectly in the U.S. So the FinTrack thing, I like to sort of kick the shit out of FinTrack. Of course, you're right. We have to do it.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy part. You and I are doing it in our brokerages.
Yeah.
And the lender is doing it at a much more advanced level. The bank,
it's their money.
It's their money.
Yeah.
And they see all the transfers, and they have to approve them, and they have to report the transfers. So but we've also started to we're driving people nuts too on down payment. So just last week, person, just the most ordinary person in the world you could imagine, my recollection is they were a heavy duty mechanic, in British Columbia, heavy duty mechanic in British Columbia. Wife was a personal care worker. They're buying their first home. It's it's 5-6% down. It's like the traditional CMHC home, and it doesn't happen that much in British Columbia, but smaller town. Yeah. I think I can't remember if it's Kamloops or Revelstoke or one of those places, but but that's the most ordinary guy in the world. It's blitheringly obvious, even if you look into social media or anything else. He's a heavy duty mechanic. That's what he is. His wife definitely is a sport worker, and there's no questions about it. They are not Smurfs for a drug cartel in Revelstoke. I mean, there might be one there, but it probably doesn't need him, and her. And they had been able to document the hell out of all their down payment. You know, they put it in a bank, but it came from Wealthsimple, and we could get all the documents on Wealthsimple. But there was one $1,425 cash deposit, and that we couldn't explain. And he said, well, it's just a cash job. I did some I did some curb work on a truck and fixed it, and the guy paid me, and this is why would have paid me cash when I put it in. And the bank said, well, we really need to find a way to back that up. It's really important. I know we're not sure. So in the end, I just said, tell the bank, Ron Butler said, we're not doing it, period. End of story. Okay. We're not doing $1,400 down payment review when there's $28,000 that we've documented the crap out of.
Yeah.
We're just not going to do it, because at a certain point you have to accept the reality of the situation. That is not a associate of the drug dealers. Who's because no drug dealer would take that approach. Our plan is to do a high ratio mortgage on this house.
And $1,500 at a time. To launder, basically.
Right. Yeah, and only that. Like everything, we're just going to do that one. Okay, we're only going to launder that one. Okay. Are you nuts? That's fucking nuts. Okay, but that's what the government does.
If you like the pod, well, don't just sit there. Go to YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all the other ones and like the pod. And don't forget to subscribe so we can keep being angry at mortgages and swearing about mortgages. Angry Mortgage could use your support.